All right, greetings, gentle beings, and welcome to, what are we on, episode 4 of Axis and Rationales, Twin Suns, Axis and Rationales, because Twin Suns is a great organization that you should check out. Twin-suns.net, I believe. Yes?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. I plugged it correctly. All right. Starting at the top of this session, we are actually dealing with leveling up to level 2, the entire party, as they head into only their second little skirmish here, so we'll see how it goes. But we're just gonna go through really quick, and everybody is going to share the feat they're choosing for their next level, and we're going to roll, or some people I believe have already rolled their hit dice to increase their hit points, but just to give any viewers a basic idea, throwing my notes around, of what the process of leveling up is like. So Phagris, you want to start us out?
Yeah, so I'm one of the aforementioned that already rolled my hit dice. So as a noble, I roll a d6 and then add my constitution modifier to that, which is a 0. So when I rolled, I got a 4, which is better than I was actually expecting. So my overall hit points go up to 22. Also, at second level, my base attack bonus increases from 0 to 1. So this means that anytime I do a combat action, or anytime I do an attack, both the attack roll itself and the roll for when I roll for damage are each increased by 1. As for feats, I ended up taking weapon-focused pistol just to help me be a little bit better with my holdout blaster. Believe it or not, I'm actually not intending on using that in this next coming and what's coming up, but that's more of a future thing for later. And other than that, now that we're also level 2, each of the skills increases by 1 because you add half of your character level rounded down. So all of our skills are going to go up. Also, I'm not wearing armor, so the bonus that I get to my fort, reflex, and will saves also went up by 1, and as a result, my damage threshold also went up by 1. So yeah, that's everything I've done.
All right. Mina, want to go next?
I'm another one who rolled her hit dice ahead of time. As a Jedi, I get to roll a d10, and I ended up rolling a 7 plus my Constitution modifier, which is 1, so I got 8 more hit points.
Nice.
The feat I took was Skill Focus, which gains +5 confidence bonus on skill checks with 1 trained skill, which I use the Force. So now I just have to roll a 5 or higher.
Mm-hmm. And that's an interesting one, because that's one of the feats that you can actually take multiple times. You just have to apply it to a different skill each time you do it.
Each time.
A different skill that you're trained in.
Yeah, you're trained in.
Yeah.
Cassis.
I took Strong in the Force for my feat. Basically, when you're spending a force point, you can increase the roll for either a skill check or an attack roll or something along those lines by spending a force point and then rolling a d6. You add your d6 to whatever you rolled, and then you get your increased bonus to whatever it is you're doing. But Strong in the Force allows me to roll a d8 instead of a d6.
And your hit points was?
Oh, I did not roll yet.
All right, go for it.
Sure. I rolled a 9, and
that
my
is good.
Is 13, so I'll gain 10 total points.
Very nice. 000, you good to start, or you need a minute more?
Okay. Let's see. I took running attack as my feat, and I gained, what's it, d10? So I gained hold on.
If it's a 1, you can re-roll it.
Yeah. That one's a 9, so 9 hit points on top of my 30. It gives me 39, correct?
Do you not have a Constitution modifier?
No, because I'm a droid.
Okay.
Droids don't have Constitution.
Well, you have the
Zaylon.
Constitution skill, yeah.
Are you set at 10?
No, droids don't have Constitution because they're not living beings.
Okay, I understand that. That makes
Right,
sense.
I'll look into that because it seems like you should still have a Constitution score, but
I've looked into it. It
Yeah.
should be fine. They don't. They literally do not have any.
okay, Zaylon.
Mine's a little more complicated. It appears when I created my character, I forgot some bonuses. I get a bonus train skill, and so I decided to put that into persuasion, which would have been helpful in all those letters I wrote before, but so be it. And I got 2 bonus feeds, one for human and one for my class. Decided to take tech specialist because that's what my overall arc is going to be focusing on, and took vehicular combat because not because I'm overthrilled with that feat, but it's a prerequisite for some of the things I need to do later on. All right, and as level 2, I get another feat, so I'm just buried in feats right now. I'm going to do a skill focus on mechanics, and I get the roll a 1d6 and plus my Constitution modifier for hit points, which is 3 plus 4. So I have 7 additional hit points, bringing me to 28.
Your Constitution modifier is a 4? Wow.
Is it you had an 18, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question really fast. Are we
Yep.
taking level? At level 2, like, are we doing like 1? It should be 1, right? Since we're level 2 now.
Sorry, which one?
Half level skills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
so
what I
half
was
your level
talking
is
about.
considered 1 now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was
Making
talking
sure.
about earlier when I said all of our skills get increased by 1.
Okay.
So you are slightly better at everything, though you still can't do any skills that require you to be trained in, which I think is only a few skills in this system.
Very few. Use the Force and then I think mechanics.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trained in mechanics, so that's good.
Droid. Okay. If everyone is squared away, then we can begin with quick as we pick up with our heroes. And you guys had set out from Alderaan with a ship full of cargo. Relief supplies, you were told, and you requested. But as you reached your waypoint, your stopping point, where you were anticipating perhaps doing further preparations before pressing on for Brintal, you were informed that you would be detained for a bit as you would be relieved of some of your cargo that was military-grade ordnance. And looking into this, your friend back on Alderaan, Prince Yorl, seemed to be rather apologetic about this and a little put out, and that he was going to be investigating this further, as apparently the various relief organizations that were sending supplies to the colonists at Brintal, all of their computer systems had mysteriously malfunctioned, and the wrong cargo was pushed on to all of you in your somewhat cumbersome vessel. And oh yes, also this was the time that Cassis made some friends on the planet. Was briefly taken in for questioning as he was his attempts at imposing his will on others as a Jedi was maybe not appreciated, and he discovered that his lightsaber was inoperable, and as he returned to the ship and the ordnance was offloaded and you were sent further along your way, you guys once more made the jump into hyperspace, and well, first having acquired some basic weaponry from the planet, as you were allowed to do. And that was when Mina had been testing with her lightsaber and finding that it was kind of on the fritz, acting up a bit. And Cassis was a bit wary of this, as his was completely inoperable and decayed. And so the decision was made that perhaps they should inspect this training saber that Mina has in her possession. So as Mina sat, meditated, focused, and opened up the inner workings of the lightsaber, small little metal, much like little tiny remote droids, you know, a little bigger than a pinhead, started shooting out from within the dismantled lightsaber and darted about the room and made somewhat threatening flight patterns towards anybody present. And at the top of this session, we are going to be rolling initiative.
Yay.
Something I'm actually trained in.
I'm gonna use my big dice for this one. Oh, what is it doing? It believes it's the background.
It could have been a lot better.
I got a 16.
Okay.
14.
15.
8.
15 plus 5 plus 1, that is 21.
All right. Sorry, I'm going to need those one more time. Fagris.
8.
Okay. Mina.
16.
Okay. Cassis.
14.
000.
21.
Okay. And Zaylon.
16.
And now is it time to roll for both 16s?
We can do that, or we can go off of whose dexterity modifier is greater.
I have a modifier of 5.
I got a big 0.
All right. Zaylon is a bit more dexterous. So then, going to adjust for, okay. All right, so actually, they are gonna go first.
What?
How many?
Oh no, that's not gonna be good for me. I'm a droid. If I have to become the enemy and start attacking you guys, I will. It's not something I want, but if the game is putting us in this kind of predicament, then I must do what the game requests of me.
Nah, they'll just rot out your insides. You'll be fine.
All right. So, as all of you, I believe you had sort of stepped away into a conference room. So you're kind of gathered around the table and the various chairs.
It wasn't a conference room. It was a workbench room with lots of machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for trying to save us, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it's even worse when we get to my turn.
Okay. So the first little swarm cluster of them is going to.
So how many swarm clusters are there?
They appear to be sort of forming off. Sure, you can tell into 3 clusters of the small droids, sort of hovering about, and
Also, they're droids.
they appear to be.
Okay.
And
I know DM speak. I know what that means.
Sure.
All right, who do they go after?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
that
one
is
of-
going to be okay. All right. The first swarm goes for Phaedrus.
Excellent. Bring it on.
All right. As they actually move in towards you, they sort of cluster up in their flight pattern, and there's like this strange arcing energy between them that shoots out in your direction. I actually need you to tell me what your fortitude defense is.
Fortitude. Thank goodness you picked literally the worst one. 12.
All righty. Yeah. All right.
Cool. How much am I taking?
Well, there's good news and there's bad news, as so often is the case. You're only wow.
Oh no.
Well, no, it's you're taking 3 points of damage.
No.
However, your entire body just goes full into spasms, and you actually collapse to the floor in a heap, and you are currently immobilized.
Oh my gosh, he's dead!
She's dead.
Yeah. Then
Oh, that's right. That's right. Your Biff is a girl.
it's Lady
Yeah.
Bith.
A lady Biff. My bad.
All right, then we are on to 000.
Great. All right. Where? Okay, so they're on Phaedrus, right?
One
is.
cluster of them has formed up over
Okay.
the Bith.
Okay.
The others are still swarming about the room.
All right. They're floating, right?
Yes.
Great.
So do I-
Where's the nearest door?
That would be within a move action for you. It's not a big room.
All right. Here's the thing. If I get close to them, I'm pretty much.
Do not open that door.
Wait, hold on. I have an idea. Can I link to people through my internal comm link? Actually, I'm going to spend my first move running out of the room.
Okay.
All right.
So the thing is, you can patch into other people's comm links, but they may not have them readily on and accessible. So.
Okay.
By the way, do I go down on the conditions table from this, or am I still at normal?
Yeah, 1 second. I don't believe it affects the conditions yet.
Okay.
So.
No.
So. All right. Don't move me yet. I'm going to yell to them. What do you guys think about me essentially opening up the airlock?
I'm not gonna metagame.
Yeah. I'm on the floor unconscious.
Well, you're actually not unconscious, Phaedrus. You're just spasming and unable to control your body.
Yes.
Is Fusion Tuner in this room because he's been tasked to follow 000, or is he outside in the hall waiting for us to come out?
Well,
'Cause Fusion
let's see.
Tuner would take a big.
I think it's
Hard
Problem with
to
that.
find out.
It's right at the top of the session.
He is just outside the room.
So he doesn't know unless he opens the door. Okay.
Well, I mean, if 000 runs out the door, he's going to notice something's up.
Thanks. Let me see. Wait, do I not know what's going on?
I mean, you were in the room as far as I recall, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't leave the room yet. I decided to
Right.
get back on that. So who's all in that room with me besides Phaedrus and me? Then?
Everyone.
Who's-
Literally the
Party.
entire party.
All right. So why can't I tell everyone that? What do you guys think about me opening
Uh,
the airlock.
Well, you
And
can.
essentially-
That would just like be essentially a conversation, and we don't really have time for a conversation, right? Like it would.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
speaking is a free action, but if we're gonna have like a conversation, that's
Well, it's not a conversation so much as what do you think about this? Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just asking for your guys' acknowledgement here.
Yeah,
Just,
so you can
it's not a
call that out.
conversation. It's just what do you guys think of us voiding the airlock and essentially you guys hunkering down and voiding them into the vacuum?
So you call that out.
All right.
And what do you do?
All right. And then I wait for at least a response from.
Okay.
I just want to say if I get sucked out of the airlock and that's guys, I'm actually not going to be I'm not going to be mad.
Wait. No, I'm thinking of the Given who can survive in vacuum. Damn.
Yeah. Hey, Mina's got a -1 to strength, so I'm not that good with that plan.
I'll be fine.
That doesn't mean you can't go into a room. It doesn't mean you can't go into a room and hunker down.
Zaylon, you're up.
All right, Leon is thrilled that these are droids because that puts it back in his game when he was thinking these were biological completely. So he's in a workshop room. He's going to walk over to a generator. How big's the room?
Call it 30 feet. 30 feet diameter.
Are any of them near the walls?
The droids?
The droids, yes.
As far as if she was opening it up over a surface, near-ish, but like they sort of swarmed up out of the training saber and were going further deeper into the room. So I'd call them, the nearest ones would probably be about 5 feet from the wall.
Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, so I go over to a generator and I initiate a localized EM pulse of 25 feet.
I'm on the corner of the room, right? I'm like by the door, right?
You said you're out of the room.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I can take some afterwards.
Sure, okay. So as you were attempting to trigger the EMP, first off, basically where is the pulse actually emitting from?
I would have it from the center of the room.
Okay.
So it'd be localized for 25 feet so it doesn't damage anything outside the room.
Okay, so like actually having some sort of emitter would mean that
being a mechanic with a modifier of 15, I assume I could make an EM pulse from a generator.
Sure, it would take a bit, but it's doable.
A bit, like how long?
I would call it probably check to open it up, and then a check to jury-rig the device, and then a check to activate the device.
So we're saying 3 rounds?
Yeah.
That's just under 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'll go with that.
Okay. So yeah, first off, just gonna go ahead and roll mechanics to appropriately open up the panels.
I rolled a 1. I rolled a 1.
All right.
Oh
It's
boy.
locked.
So it's 16 total.
Okay. I mean, a 16 is good, but you still rolled a 1. So what happens is...
It's going to bounce off the wall and hit me.
This is just trying to open it up, so I'm assuming the DC isn't terribly high on opening it up.
Well, no, it's still a 1.
Yeah,
It's still a 1.
Still a matter of rolling the 1 is what's a critical failure. So basically, Zaylon, as you lunge towards the access panel where you're going to try to trigger this EMP, One of the swarms actually swoops in too close to you for comfort, and you sort of trip over your feet and drop to the floor. And yeah, they are hovering over you in prime position for their next barrage of whatever they determine.
Wonderful.
But the good news is you are at the panel. Then we move on to Mina.
So are these swarms light enough that I could do move light object to take the ones that are near Phaedrus and just throw them against a wall?
Yeah, if you want to try that.
That's what I'm doing. Use the board. Oh, cool. I rolled a 13, so plus 10, 23.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of throw out the shockwave towards the little flying orbs, and you roll for damage on that, yes?
1d6.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I rolled a 6.
Nice. Okay. It does appear to have impact as you slam them up against the wall. They some of them even just firmly embed into the surface, it looks like, and just kind of squash their circuitry. However, others just sort of ping off of the plating and just slowly start to hover about and recover. And the swarm is still intact, you feel.
Okay.
Do you wish to move or do anything else?
I'm going to move closer to Phaedrus, just in case I need to do healing.
Alrighty. Then another of these swarms is going to actually then target you, Mina.
Of course.
And yeah, they're going to use the same attempt. What is your fortitude defense?
12.
Alrighty. Yeah. There it is. Okay. You are going to take 5 points of damage as the kind of bluish arc of energy just zaps into your nervous system, and you just feel your spine convulse and your legs just kind of noodle out from under you, and you drop to the deck.
This is how it's going to be, huh?
The final swarm, seeing Zaylon just crumpled to the floor by himself, is actually just going to open up with their little lasers. Just open up. Zaylon, what is your reflex defense?
19.
19 is really good. It may work. It may work. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Whew. I rolled an 18. there. And Zaylon, as they swoop in and you see like the little glow of like their weapons coming online, you're like, oh, this is just going to be like a little sting. However, as the full vibrance of the lights flash in front of you, you realize, oh, spast, and like start diving out of the way and scrambling across the deck as their tiny little lasers are just like slicing into the floor, and you are barely managing to dodge out of the way. And it is actually cutting deep grooves in the metal floor.
Oh, I'm not going to go nice on these things.
The good news is that's all they can do. Cassis, what are you doing?
So I have a force power that can only be used in a cone. Is there a way for me to be able to position myself to be able to attack all 3 swarm clouds?
Yes, if you maneuver over by Phaedrus, if you move over by Phaedrus or by Zaylon, you can try to catch all of them in the cone.
Yeah, but it will also catch allies, and I don't want to do that.
Well, for the swarm over by Phaedrus and Mina, they have both dropped basically to the deck. unable to move, and Zaylon has at this point still not been able to get up. So you can just try to angle it up higher if you wish.
Okay. Yeah, well, if you're gonna allow that, then I'll do it anyway. So I'm going to use Force Slam.
Yeah.
Basically, what it's doing is it's picking them up and then just dropping them really hard into the ground. It is going to be against their Fortitude defense.
All right.
So whatever I roll is going to be 15 plus, and then that's a 9.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. And I'm also going to be spending a force point to increase, instead of 4d6 points of force damage they'll take, they are going to take 6d6, and they are now prone if it beat their fortitude defense.
Yeah, you're getting the sense that it might, like, these things being knocked prone might not be super effective, but it's still a lot of damage.
That's fine. I rolled very poorly. Let's see. That is going to be 16 points of force damage to each of them individually.
Who's playing music?
Not high.
It's not me.
Not me.
Yeah, same. Not me either.
No.
That was weird.
The force wills it, I guess. Anyway. Well, yeah. So Cassis, you, who do you go over by, Phagris or Zaylon?
Phagris.
All right. You maneuver over by your fallen Bith companion and just send the force shockwave through the air and slam these small orbs down to the deck or the workbench or what have you, and they all just sort of rain down like metal hailstones onto the deck. And some of them, once again, just sort of squashing and embedding their circuitry into the floor. Others do manage to rise up like you know how when you swat a fly, but you don't manage to catch it between anything, and it just sort of dazed, picks itself up and keeps going. A good portion of them do manage to recover seemingly from the smash down into the deck and resume their flight course.
These are resilient.
All right, then we are to Phagris. Phagris, I imagine you would like to try to shrug off these effects.
Yes. What do I have to do for that?
Where'd the character sheet go? There it is. So yes, I believe this is going to be an endurance roll. Yeah.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah.
Have that at 1. Is it 16? Beat whatever it is?
Yeah.
Wow.
You managed to you just focus and even maybe feel like think yourself through the equation about how to sort of you know how if somebody has had an injury and their nervous system is damaged, how they go through the physical therapy to try to reactivate their synapses and regain control of their movements, and you just sort of accelerate that into 6 seconds and manage to you're still your body is kind of jolting occasionally and your nerves are tingling across your entire nervous system, but you are able to regain control of your physical form.
Cool. Is that my turn?
You would still have a move if you wished, but that would be your action.
A move would be my act. Okay. So I will take a move action to stand up then. And I was going to mention this on my turn, but right before we open up the lightsaber, I also disassembled my holdout blaster and was inspecting that. I assume that is still on the table disassembled.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Phagris.
That's loud enough. They'll just
Loser.
say, all right, we give up.
Right.
Don't worry, I still have a plan.
You stand up, though?
I do stand up.
All right. Phagris stands up. Somewhere there are applause, but not here.
You hear a faint like metallic clank, like clapping from behind the door, just like.
All right. The most damaged swarm, being the first one that had attacked Phaedrus, is then going to retaliate versus Cassis, who just was very unkind to them.
Well, they're unkind to us.
Yeah.
They ate my lightsaber.
From a certain point of view. All right. So yeah, they are just going to power up their weapons systems. And what is your reflex defense?
15.
It is not going to do it. As in your defense is not going to do it. I didn't mean to get your hopes up. Yeah, okay. Well, did not roll too well on damage. That is going to be 7 points of damage to you, as their tiny little lasers just start slashing and cutting into the fabric of your Jedi robe and kind of scoring light burns across your flesh. And they just sort of start orbiting around you, just kind of as they circle. And then 000, it's back to you.
Well, after the clapping you hear in the one room, well, it's not much I can do against those things necessarily. Stun grenade questions. What do stun grenades don't?
You would need an ion grenade.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm pretty much useless here. I'm a droid. I have slug throwers. I have stun grenades, but none of them I don't think would do anything to metallic blobs. I activate my comm link and I just cheer you guys on. How about that?
Okay.
I like how the soldier droid is gonna be the cheerleader, and the noble is gonna run in fighting.
Okay. Yeah. So the droid is cheering you on. We'll see if that becomes relevant in any of the checks.
Go kick their metallic butts.
Yeah. The droid is attempting to be a bard for the group, and yeah. Then we are back to Zaylon.
So I still haven't even opened the access panel, but I'm right next to it.
You are right next to it.
Try again.
Well, I was going to change it, but I thought the Jedi had disabled, so I might as well stick with the original plan. 000, come get my utility belt and go back by the door. And then I'm going to open the panel again, or at least attempt to.
Yeah, go for it.
13 plus 15, so 28.
That'll do it. You, with your tools and fingers, managed to pry open the access panel, and you are familiar with the inner workings thereof, and you're already assessing what will have to be done in order to try to send out some sort of pulse to deactivate these orbs. And you do have a move action if you wanted to. I guess actually the move would have been to pull out your tools. So, yeah, okay. It would not have already been drawn.
I should have left some stuff on the table.
Okay. So I believe we are then on to Mina.
All right, I'm going to try to not be prone anymore.
Yeah. You're going to be rolling your endurance. Try to shrug off the effects.
Which is an 11.
Okay. You do barely, manage to regain control of your limbs, and yeah, much like Fagris, just there's a bit of drool on the deck where you just kind of flopped over and just regain your composure, shakily push yourself back up if you choose to stand at least.
I'm going to stand.
All right, you shakily resume your feet and look around and assess the situation. It looks as though, yeah, much like Cassis said, rather surprised, they are resilient little things, whatever they are. And there are many of them still zapping about the room. And one of them is... Okay, one of them is actually going to retarget you, Mina.
Of course.
This time attempting to open fire with their weapon systems. And I rolled a natural 1. So yeah, as they'd been pummeled into the deck, it's like their systems are still not quite fully back online as they're circling around and sending tiny little laser blasts around the room. One of them just kind of scores into another one of their own, and it just kind of smokes and plip, plip, down to the deck. So I'll mark that off.
Done so defeated.
Not that one.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
It's true. The final swarm is going to, well, actually, let me see about something here. Oh yeah, okay. They seem to start attacking you, Zaylon, more so with perhaps a renewed vigor.
How would they know what I'm doing? I didn't announce it.
They're smart.
Oh, okay.
And then that'll just do it because I rolled 1 fewer last time, so that'll just hit this time. Their little lasers are going to zap you quite soundly, as that is going to be 13 points of damage.
Okay.
As you're opening up the panel, they're just lancing into your back, as they seem rather unhappy about what you might be attempting.
I'm good.
And then we are over to Cassis.
So, with my extensive Jedi training that has been drilled into me since I was very young, I am going to instinctually go for my lightsaber that's at my belt, attempt to turn it on, realize it doesn't work, and then I'm going to smack one of the flying little buggers with the hilt.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to
Be similar to a club.
I have no idea. What do you want me to roll with that? I have a basic strength modifier with the.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'll call it like an improvised weapon, basically.
Sure. It'll be a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
All right. What do you want me to roll for damage?
I'll say just the lightsaber hilt. Roll a d4.
Okay. 4 damage.
All right.
Do you want me to add strength to that?
Yes, actually, yes.
6.
All right. Somehow you call upon your connection to this probably irreparable lightsaber, and just holding the hilts, remember all of the good times you had together, and then just hiya, and just smack one of these things out of the air, and it just splats into the wall nearby. And yeah, it appears to be effective, surprisingly.
A really ignoble end to this lightsaber's use.
Yeah. This weapon is your life. Also, you can just hit little things with it. It's fine.
doesn't matter.
Fagris, are you still there? Your video's gone.
Oh, I am. Yes, I am still here. Let me turn on my video again.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I am still here. So, shoot. So drawing my vibroblade knife would be a move action, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Shoot. Well,
Can't shoot with a vibroblade.
Yes. But I can throw a vibroblade.
Oh god, no.
You're technically correct.
Okay, where's that? What's my healing stuff?
Hold on.
I just
Someone is going to die.
I can take another thing. I don't want to be an ally.
Are you mad?
Unfortunately, I'm not stupid enough to do that.
Aw.
Though I am smart enough to realize that I can't actually do anything in this fight. But someone who can do something is Zaylon. And Zaylon's currently getting attacked right now. So I'm going to do whatever I can to get the things to attack me instead of Zaylon.
Oh my gosh, you are not.
How would you like to do this?
Okay, Dane.
As Phaedrus attempts to tank, what do you do?
I am going to I'm going to withdraw using my move action one of my data cards that says it has some information about the ships that I designed, but it's actually just malware. And I'm going to attempt to throw that at the one that is attacking Zaylon in order to get its attention.
Okay, well, it's the swarm attacking Zaylon, but you can just try to chuck it over in that direction. I guess, just roll a d20, add your dexterity.
Cool. It's a 17.
Okay. All right. As you pull out your data card and just like I gotta make a distraction. You're just like, hey, you over here, as you chuck it across the room, and it just kind of sails right over and blinks into the far wall. You just kind of throw it right through the swarm, as it's not really a big data card and it doesn't really connect with anything, and just plink against the far wall.
I'm tempted to do something, all right?
Yep.
You failed.
Yeah, this is like C-3PO just being like, hey,
keep going.
it's me.
Keep going. You're doing a great job.
You've got this.
Says the droid that's built for combat that's instead cheering people on.
You're absolutely right. Keep doing a great job, Cassis.
All right, we are at the top of the round, and the swarm actually near to you, Phaedrus, on that end of the room, is going to first off, yes, and just seems to pause, almost as though it's doing a bit of a diagnostic, as they're floating somewhat stationary in the air, and then just sort of shoot upwards towards the ventilation shaft.
Oh, crap!
Okay.
And then we're on to 000.
Guys, where did they go?
I don't believe anyone can just track them, because nobody's
Well, I
done
don't.
anything like that.
Fair. Well, I'm behind the door, aren't I?
If you had pulled just outside, then yeah, you would still be able to peer inside, I guess, if you wanted. But if you were trying to hide,
I enter the room.
Okay. You come back inside and see the situation. It appears as though Zaylon is being pummeled from the sky with one of the swarms. The other one was still attempting to circle and ruin Mina's day.
Since the door's open, does that mean Fusion Cutter joins the fight?
If you wanted to.
I don't want him to, but because I'm about to set off an EM pulse,
Okay.
I do not want him to.
Well, you can use a because speaking is like a swift action, so you can order it on your turn to do something.
You could, but I mean, it's an astromech droid. By default, it's not going to charge into combat.
Yeah.
But it's fusion cutter. All right.
Do you do anything else, 000?
Can I have a look around?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Just kind of like seeing like what damage has been done and what's kind of just going on right now with everyone. Because I've been kind of out of it. I've been listening through essentially someone's open comm link. What's been going on? 16 plus 4, 5, so that's 21 again.
Okay.
21 today.
Yeah. As you're looking around, you're assessing these things. 1, have surprisingly powerful weapon systems. 2, are rather agile and easily evade things. And 3, there are fewer of them, like the sum total of those who are flying and those that appear to be smashed and deactivated seems fewer than you remember. Some of them appear to be missing.
Next move.
All right. Zaylon.
So I yell at Cassis and tell him, get that thing back in here, and proceed on what I was doing.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have to assume what he meant by thing.
So, Zaylon, yeah, you're just going to be rolling
31.
for mechanics?
Yes.
Sorry, you cut out.
50, I rolled a 16, so it's plus 15, so 31.
For mechanics to try to cobble together the pulse? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, rather easily, you know the wiring of the ship very well and manage to, you hope, set up the full wiring to emit a pulse into the room. And we'll see how effective it is when you manage to actually instigate the pulse. And the rather immediately, the droids appear to grow even more frenzied. But first off, it is Mina's turn.
Okay, so is there one that actually went into the ventilation shaft, or it's near it?
They'd actually the swarm 1 basically of 3 that was the most damaged had just sort of swept up into the air vent.
That's what I was afraid of. So I'm going to once again do move light object on the swarm that's near me.
Okay.
Let's see, that is nice. 18, so 28.
Now, are these considered objects or creatures?
They are technically objects.
Okay.
They are technically objects. Anyway, yeah. I don't want to give away too much. Anyway.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Mina, yeah, that is definitely successful.
Okay, and damage-wise, 4.
All right. Yep, you pummel these things once again into the wall. A few of them just kind of break apart. And you're actually noting being this close to them now as some of them are cracking open, just the wiring spilling out. Yeah, they seem oddly liquefied in the interior, as though there's like intricate inner systems that are kind of squishy like organics.
So they're bugs.
Maybe.
Squish them!
I have a theory on that. I have a theory.
All right. Then the swarm is going to attempt to retaliate. Yeah, they're going to try to send out that same sort of arcing blue stun blast, if you will. And yeah, roll your, sorry, what is your fort defense?
That is 12.
Well, yeah, the dice take away and give, as that is a 20. Natural 20.
Oh!
Hmm.
Oh, this is going to be painful.
Well, the dice give it, the dice take it away.
Yeah, well, that wasn't all. It could have been worse. That's going to be 9 damage, and once again, you are just completely robbed of all ability to use your own limbs and crumple down to the deck.
Okay.
And the other swarm over Zaylon is actually going to try the same thing on you. So what is your fort defense?
Fort defense,
Yeah.
16.
Ooh, that'll just do it.
Flex doesn't play.
That'll be it's a 17 total. So they just managed to blast you with the energy, and is going to be 5 points of damage. And you as well are robbed of your ability to use your body. Just kind of slumped there on the floor with your hand kind of feebly flopping in the panel, like, come on!
Come on! Wow.
As we get to Cassis, back to you.
Get up, we're going now.
So, are we able to determine that the whole swarm that entered into the air vents came back out or were destroyed completely?
You can make a perception check if you want to try to assess.
Is that going to take an action?
I would say I would call it a move action. Try to.
Okay, yeah, because I have to get close anyway, right?
Yeah, if you're trying to move over and assess.
Okay, so I have a +9. 23.
Okay. They do not appear to have returned. And as you look up in the vent, you do not see hide nor hair of little tiny metal orbs.
Okay. I'm just then going to use move light object on one of the others.
Okay. The group over Mina is slightly more damaged. Are you aiming for that one or the group over Zaylon?
Let's see. Because of action economy, I'm going to attack the more damaged unit.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be a 26 on use the force to move it and damage
That'll do it.
in some manner. Did you want me to roll?
Yeah, there's a D6, right? For damage. At least that's what Mina's been doing.
Yeah.
Have you been doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 4.
Alrighty. Yeah, you're breaking them down. They appear to just be
But not yet.
breaking apart, but they're still tenacious. Those who are even still battered but intact are forming back up in their swarm.
Great.
As we get to Phagris, you have just thrown your data card across the room and...
All right. All right. Can I do a... So speaking is a free action, correct? Yep. With speaking into my wristcom over some frequency that we've established with the rest of the crew at this point. I'm assuming we have a frequency that we can all talk to each other.
I think we've established
the rest of the crew at this point, right?
I'll say sure.
Okay. I would like to make my way towards the generator that Zaylon was attempting to jury-rig so that I can try to activate it. On my way, I'm going to scream into my wristcom on the open frequency that we're infested with spherical buggers. One's in the air vents. Keep an eye out.
I'm sorry, what? Is the response you get. But
and then I'm going to make my way, as I make my way to the generator to attempt to fire it off.
All right. You did not know precisely what Zaylon was doing. You got the general gist, but the difficulty is going to be higher for you because you had not set up the
and
pulse.
Is that going to be a A computers or mechanics check?
It's going to be mechanics because he was just fiddling with the wiring. So
cool. I'm not even going to bother telling you what that roll was.
Okay.
It was an 11.
Okay. Yeah. As you kind of get over and awkwardly are standing over Zaylon and attempting to fiddle with the wiring that he had, you're not managing to trigger whatever he was attempting to send out.
Zoom keeps crashing on me, FYI. I'm trying to piece together what's going on.
Phaedrus just attempted to emit the pulse and did not manage to do so. And Zaylon.
And I warned the rest. And I warned the rest of the crew that there's one in the air vents. They don't know what we're talking about, though.
Is the one in the air vent escape? Wonderful. So I have a plan for that as well.
Okay. But yeah, Zaylon, you had been hit by the pulse from the little orbs, and you are currently unable to move your body. But then we are back top of the round. Something happens that you guys don't know about, and then it's 000's turn.
That's not ominous.
Oh no. What do you mean they are in the air vent?
You're here.
That's right. I'm sorry. I thought I was behind the door again. Gosh.
You had stepped into the room, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. I was just being an idiot, which tends to happen. So, is there a way we can perhaps burn it out?
Potentially.
Is anyone at a control panel? Where's the thermostat for the ship?
The thermostat for the ship, I would assume, would be closer toward the bridge. Is the ship big enough to have a bridge or a cockpit? Anyway, where the fly-in happens. I'll call it the cockpit.
Where the fly-in happens.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds like the correct terminology. All right.
I'm nothing if not professional.
Zaylon is in the room, right? Because he was
Yes.
fiddling with trying to get an EMP working.
Yeah, Zaylon is currently twitching on the floor.
Half the party is twitching on the floor.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I could always just go to the cockpit and try to do it myself while you guys are just twitching on the floor. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to help up. Okay, who's all on the floor? We know Zaylon is.
And me.
Not me.
Zaylon, me, not.
Yeah,
Phaedrus, are you on the floor still or no?
No, I'm by the generator.
Okay. So I'm going to help Mina up off the floor. And then you have to do what is it? A treat injury at all, since she's spasming.
I actually don't know if we can do treat injuries in combat like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Are we in combat still?
Yeah,
Yes.
you technically are still, yes.
There's two of them still attacking us, and then one's in the vents that we don't know about
Okay.
where it is.
Okay. Two of them still attacking us. All right. Might as well just try and hit them with a slug. Can I pull out my slug-thrower pistol?
Yeah, that'd be a move action to draw a weapon.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, and then there's the more damaged group over by Mina, and then the less damaged group over by Zaylon.
Oh, jeez. I mean, I don't want to get too close to it, but gosh, what's the 2d8? Not 2d6. I'm gonna get the one that's closer to me, I think. Actually,
Wait,
no,
that would be the group over Zalon.
Right. And how many squares are you taking? Are you keeping track?
We're
of
not. We're definitely not anywhere outside of point blank range.
No,
Okay.
this is not a huge room.
Okay. It's like what, 30 feet? 20,
Yeah.
30 feet.
So you'd probably be about 10 feet from the droids.
All right. From both of them?
Probably about 15 feet from the group over Mina.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna target the one that's more damaged. Let's go.
Okay.
With that.
So that is over Mina.
And that's what, 2d6?
Well, first you have to roll a hit.
Myself. A hit. D20, right?
Yep.
16. Do I have to add anything to it?
Your attack bonus.
Should be 1.
And then dexterity because it's a ranged weapon, yes?
Yes.
So your dexterity modifier.
5. 5 plus 1, 6 on top of 16, so that's 22. I'd probably hit that.
So 22 total?
Yep.
That'll hit.
And I deal a massive 2 damage. I rolled double 1s. Freaking snake eyes on that.
Yeah. And then
that.
even
should
then,
be, that should be 3 damage because you have a base attack bonus, don't you?
That'd be 3.
Oh, so okay, yeah, okay. That was not taken into account. Okay. But even so, 000, as you fire off the shot, and you're like, oh, that was a lousy shot. I need to check my programming, my photoreceptors, etc. But even as it connects, you assess that, yeah, this probably isn't the best weapon to be using against a swarm of things, as it just sort of.
I knew this going in there, but oh well.
But it did something. It sort of scores across one of the little orbs, and it just sort of does like the slow turn back over in your direction as it's just hovering there. Like, really?
Can I try and communicate with this thing?
That'd be something on your next turn.
Yeah,
right.
If you're wanting to use that as your action, that would be next turn.
Right. You know what? It would probably be beneficial to capture one of these things.
You can attempt to do that. Zalon, it's up to you.
All right, I'm incapacitated. What do I do?
You had to roll endurance.
Yeah,
I don't know what the DC is, but you got to beat whatever it is to actually be able to do anything.
Yeah. So you try to roll your endurance to shrug off the effects.
Can I speak or no?
You attempt to speak and it sort of comes out as
Yeah, you got to beat the endurance just to speak or move.
11 plus 5, so 12.
That'll do it. As you feel the power kind of jolt through your nervous system, but just as you're slumped there on the floor, you shake it off and manage to kind of heave yourself up against the wall. That was, however, your action, unfortunately.
But I can still speak now
Yes.
that I've not. Fusion cutter, lock down the air vents and isolate a tiny droid.
There's a kind of a faint pause before just.
Wait. Oh no! I just realized something that's probably gonna happen.
We'll see. That will be.
This is my guess.
Roll to interpret master's orders is going to be a roll.
Okay, well, Zalon, get ready to say goodbye to Fusion Cutter, I think.
All right, Mina.
All right, so let's see if I can shred this off. Oh, 17.
That'll do it.
And then, stand up again.
Yep. You just scowl up at the little orbs the whole time as you just heave yourself back up to your feet. Yeah, getting rather annoyed. With I guess seeing you shrug off the effects once again, they're just going to open fire again with their weapon systems.
They are.
Yeah, it's going to be a 27. So.
Great.
But only 5 points of damage.
Only. Excellent.
Only.
be one of those times where the healers don't have to end up healing themselves soon, I see.
Physician, heal thyself. As the last swarm is just going to pour it on against Zaylon.
Of course.
Come on.
Oh, that's going to be a 15. They miss.
Thank God. I could not take another hit.
I figured. So did they. So that's why they were figuring they could drop you. But you just staggered up against the wall. They're opening fire against you, but you're managing to shrink and shrug away.
Did I still go to tank? I'm taking more.
I mean, maybe not so much tank as rogue, just being hard to hit. But yeah, you're effectively drawing fire at the very least.
Yeah, you take a +5 to your reflex ranged attacks. Take a -5 when you're on prone, so that's also helping you.
Cassis, we're back to you.
I am going to use my move action to use Move Light Object against the one that is currently attacking Zaylon.
Yep.
It says I'm allowed to move it up to 6 squares, which I think we're saying is 30 feet, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to move it on to clear to the opposite side of the room and also attempt to deal damage to it.
Oh, no. Okay.
Kind of do there.
Okay, that's going to be a 29.
Yep.
Okay, and 4 points of force damage.
Alrighty.
And then I am going to convert my standard action into another move action and do it again.
Go for it.
But with the other swarm, and then just put it in like a space right next to that one I just attacked.
Right. So you're basically trying to corral them together?
Yeah, and I just rolled a crit.
Yeah.
So double the dice or double the number?
I always like to roll more dice, but you do you. You can roll the 1 die and double it, or roll 2d6.
All right, 9 points of force damage on that one, which I think is the more damaged one already.
Oh yeah, on that one, yes. 6, which I believe, yeah, that'll do it. As on that group that was more damaged, you seize on their cluster across the room and sort of smush them all together like trash compactor style, and just like the molten squishy globule of it, just slam it up against the wall over beside you, and they just all sort of splat in a cluster, and it's like a rotten peach hitting a wall that just starts slowly sliding down the surface.
Is it like blue slime goop?
It is honestly more unsettling than that. It's like kind of a like as like when it's thick, like there's like thick globules of it. It looks almost kind of purplish, but then when it's thin and running down the wall, it's vaguely reddish.
That's disgusting.
I like it. All right.
And that being, so they don't get to do anything anymore. Then we are on to Phagris.
Well, since you so helpfully put them on the other side of the room, that's going to make my plans a little worse. I'm going to speak back into the comm link on the open frequency that we're all on, and clarify. There's spherical droids infesting the ship. One's in the airlock. We need to we need to lock it down.
Yep, air vent, you mean? I assume?
Air vent. Yeah, air vent. One's in the air vents. We need to lock it down.
Okay.
As I also finally use my move action to draw the vibroblade.
All right. You hear back,
Please.
acknowledged
Okay.
if not understood. So yeah, you say that into your comm link, you draw your blade. Do you want
I don't
to
think
move?
there's anything else I can.
Do you want to move towards them at least, or?
You guys are gonna fling them around anyways. I'll move towards a console that I can use to give me like I guess like a readout of the ship to try to find where the other one is.
Okay. That would actually be pretty close to where you are, so you don't have to move very far. As Zalen was just kind of prying open the access panel, probably next to the computer console. All right. In that case, we are at the top of the next round, which means I need to roll for a couple of things.
Oh,
that's not good.
no, he's smiling, and then he's like, okay, that'll work.
You actually do hear back Fagris at this point. I think I just saw them. They were heading to the place where the driving happens.
Ah, you mean
Where
the cockpit?
they're flying at. They're headed towards the cockpit, it appears.
This is why communication is key.
Yeah.
Now the NPCs are helping us.
I was rolling perception for the NPCs. Only one of them noticed, which it was the mechanic. So
The mechanic doesn't know what a cockpit is. That's worrying. That's frightening.
that was Game Master flavor. The character said cockpit. All right, but yes, you hear that back over your comm link. Oh no, they're doing something bad, I think.
Ah, excellent.
All right.
At least they know.
The 3 other droids are with him. Or the 2 other droids are with him. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is at this point that the lights begin to flicker.
God, they're just swinging my shit.
And sheesh, okay. In which case,
It's going so well.
yeah, you hear Takrira kind of grunting on the other end of the comm, and then kind of the of what you take to be like a fire suppressant. Just trying to do something.
What are you doing to his ship?
Hey,
Well, this was a ship for a while.
they're doing something. I'm satisfied in the fact that they're doing something.
She's trying her best, man. But then we're back to 000.
I still suggest everyone go into one room. We lock it off, and we go to the cockpit, lock it off, and space the entire ship. That solves the problem of these pests.
You put forth your plan, 000. Nobody really seems that comfortable with it.
Well, now what? Since none of you are coming up with any great ideas.
We're in the middle of combat.
Still
Yeah.
under attack.
If anyone could protect me, it would have been over 2 rounds ago.
The noble is attempting to be the meat shield here. Since no one else is stepping up to the plate, the noble will do it.
Okay, wait, is there still one in the room?
Yes,
There's
there's still
one.
one in the room.
There's a swarm of them left in the room, yes.
Okay, well, again, I was led to believe that he smashed the two groups together.
No.
and then crushed
He
it.
smashed one of the groups against the wall. The other one was still in.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you pull them all together and then just did that. All right, that makes more sense. I pull a pin out of my stun grenade
Sure.
and I chuck it. Actually, I hold on to it. I'm like, can I attempt to talk in binary to it?
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent. I know binary.
So do I.
I'm gonna go. Hey, do you understand me? Go bounce up and down if yes.
Oh gosh.
While I'm doing this, I have the grenade like in my hand, primed.
Yeah.
I love how the soldier is attempting to be diplomat and the diplomat's attempting to be soldier.
Yeah. It's interesting turn of events. You know what? Go ahead and roll a persuasion check, 000.
Next time, can we have
These things might be
be a
sentient.
dinner?
All right, wait, a persuasion?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Wait, do I add my charisma to that? still, even though it's not one of
Persuasion
mine?
should be related to charisma, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know if I took that since it's not one of my original skills. All right. I get a 19. Technically, it was a nat 20.
Oh, but you have the -1? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, -2 plus 1 because half level.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, the little orbs kind of been smashed back into the wall at this point, not pulverized like the other group, but kind of peeled themselves away and start forming up once again, and all sort of seemingly sort of swivel over in your direction, 000, as you address them, and just sort of move side to side.
So I assume that's no, and then wait, now Triple Zero is freaking confused because he's like, obviously these things understand me, but he didn't do what. That's obviously a no because they're going like this instead.
It's a puzzle. It's a thinker.
Yeah.
Right.
Joy, thank you.
Okay.
So essentially, you just see my droid, like the arms just like fall, was like, are you serious? Like, screw this. And I
Right, who's next?
Crick this, and then I just toss the grenade over there.
Okay. You check the grenade. I believe that is going to be a dexterity check. Yes?
Probably. I don't know that for certain. And I'm going to have to mark off.
Throws a grenade in my ship.
Yep.
It's a stun grenade. So I think there's an organic component to this thing. So hopefully this does some effect.
As in kill me.
Wait, what?
I am low.
All right, dexterity. Got that 20 plus 5, so that's 25.
All right.
That's 20.
Yeah, again.
All right.
By the way, this isn't the first time this happened. In D&D, I've rolled a nat 20 3 times in a row.
Where's the range on this?
I've rolled a nat 1 3 times in a row. We balance each other out, sir. All right, what is the damage of a stun grenade?
I do not know, actually.
We are going to have to figure that out.
Yep, I'm about to look it up.
They're not in the core rulebook, doesn't look like.
That's where I got it from. Saying stun grenade unleashes concussive energy that knocks out creatures within its 2 square burst radius. It's designed to explode on contact after it's thrown, dealing damage in the same round it is being hurled. When you make an area attack with stun grenade, you make a single attack roll and compare the result to reflex defense of every target in the grenade's burst radius. Mm-hmm. Creatures you hit take full stun damage, and creatures you miss take half stun damage. In addition, stun damage has a chance of pushing targeted creatures down the condition track. See stunning page 162. A target with the invasion talent, see page 50, takes half stun damage from a successful attack and no stun damage if the attack misses its reflex defense. All right.
So they're taking full damage as far as you know. So just go ahead and roll the full damage.
However, droids, vehicles, and objects are immune to stun damage. Well, crap.
Well, as far as you know, there are
roll your damage.
Stun damage. But I'm sure it can take regular damage, right?
Yeah, roll damage.
Roll the damage.
All right, I do not know what it takes. Like with the, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and find it because it has to have like a.
It would seem like, yeah.
Stun grenade.
4d6.
Yeah, I've stun damage though.
All right. With a natural 20, I would say you can roll 8d6 if you want, or double the 4d6.
No one's in two squares of the thing, right? At this point.
No, the Cassis had yoinked it across the room. So
okay.
Remind me next time we stop off somewhere to pick up ion grenades and perhaps a thermal detonator. 6, 3. Wait, how many am I rolling? 8.
You can roll 4 and double it, or just roll 8.
All right. Okay, 6. So that's 4. 12 plus 12. plus 12.
Okay.
It probably doesn't take any since it's an object. Or
Well, we'll see.
Your shoulders slump 000, and you just kind of half-heartedly just chuck the
Much,
stun
yeah,
grenade
that's what I was going for. It's like,
over in the direction, and it just kind of hits the wall directly behind the orbs, and as it connects, it just the blossom of concussive stun energy seems to envelop where they are, and as that subsides, sort of it's like a mine exploding underwater almost, where it sweeps out and then shrinks back inward. Yeah. As that blast clears, you don't see them.
Right. So we know that they are, in fact, perhaps organic.
As you look around, you note that there are ruptured pieces of wiring and metal that have just splatted in the radius.
Now I'm very confused. Is it of the ship? Can I do a perception really fast, or do I not?
I mean, as you're assessing, there seems to be the appropriate amount of splattered matter to
the things.
Yeah.
Right.
To
the bridge.
accommodate the number of orbs that were left. So as far as you can tell, it appears to have been effective.
Okay.
Are we technically still in combat?
We are technically still in initiative, but if you are not further moving to engage a target, then you are not in combat.
Okay.
So it appears that it's been defeated.
Right, but there's still one in the bridge.
Okay. Is there a? Is there? We should probably do like, I don't know. After this, we're gonna have to probably, if we can like gather these things up after and do a gather information check on these things, that'd be great.
Maybe. But 000, if that is all you wish to do, then we move on to Zaylon.
Yep.
Zaylon is outraged at this moment with this entire affair. He's gonna make his way to the bridge and pulling out his diagnosis tool at the same time. He's gonna go off on this thing when he gets there.
Alrighty. We'll say, given the size of this ship, but the work bay would probably be reasonably close to the cockpit. I'll call it 2 rounds to basically spend your time running over towards the cockpit. Is everyone heading in that direction?
Since I'm next to a terminal right now, I'm going to attempt to do whatever I can on this terminal to mitigate any damage that it could be doing up in the cockpit.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll computers. Although if we're technically still in initiative, then Cassis, then you're going. Wait, no, Mina and then Cassis.
Oh.
These things came out of a lightsaber. I'm assuming they're what, like 2 millimeters in size or something small?
They're real tiny, real tiny.
Tiny, but when they explode, you can see wires and stuff.
Yep.
I'm very confused on like what these things are.
So I guess, Mina and Cassis then, what are you guys doing?
Mina goes first.
Yeah, I'm going to start following Zaylon.
Okay.
And
running off in that direction. And Cassis?
I am going to make my way over to the where all of the mess is in the corner.
Yep.
And just start stomping on all of them, or
okay,
just to make sure they're dead, and for me a little bit of revenge.
Make sure they're dead. Okay.
As you start stomping on them, you feel your feet begin to split up. No, it's fine. No. No, you're stepping on kind of liquefied wiring. It feels like it's like gritty pulp almost.
So yeah, no, I'm taking the entire round to do that for quite a good while.
Yep.
Excellent. Nothing's going to be left for me to look at. Okay.
Roll
Well, you
for
still
a
have this-
tantrum.
You still have this. You can still have the specimen in the cockpit.
Which I'm taking alive. It's gonna pay for this.
All right,
All right.
cool. My computer's check now.
Yeah, go for it.
Why couldn't that be higher? 21.
All right. As you're pulling up the computer systems of the ship, yeah, you are quickly assessing that various security programs and flight control, everything is already starting to flicker, and the controls are becoming unresponsive. As you are entering commands, you're having to sort of reroute the intended systems and almost frantically build back the systems that you're trying to interact with as you're going. But with your results, you are able to do so, at least for the time being. What are you attempting to assess?
I'm not necessarily attempting to assess. I'm attempting to do anything I can to mitigate any future damage to happen and repair any damage that has already happened.
Okay, so yeah, given what you are quickly able to tell about what's happening, it looks as though whatever these things are in the cockpit, they're trying to dismantle the Visari's computer systems, and you can either try to backtrack and shut them, like try to create some sort of feedback that will hopefully shut them down, or you can try to repair what they've been damaging.
I'm gonna try to shut them down.
Okay. Then I need to roll against. Okay. Whew. That'll be a total of 30 on their roll, as they're able to supersede whatever defensive parameters you're trying to send and lash back at them.
You're fighting, you as an organic with technology is fighting pure technology. What is wrong with you, Vargas?
Machines fighting machines.
Hey, I'm doing something.
Yep. You're currently locked into Hollywood hacker mode as you're trying to frantically clack the keys in a certain frenzied pattern as the music swells, and
I'll be ready for another round of opposed computer checks when I come around again.
then it is their turn, actually, as
my droid tech can't slow down the droids. Is that what's happening?
The Visari abruptly powers down. Every system appears to go offline. You feel the ship lurch as you are thrown back into real space. Emergency lighting comes on, and I am going to need everyone to roll an acrobatics check.
Wonderful.
4 dice to roll. I love it.
24.
Oh no! I just rolled in 1.
She's going to be knocked out now. Great.
That's a 9 from me.
Okay.
I'm expecting a low number here because of my 220s I've already gotten in the game. All right. 16 plus my dex modifier, which is 5, plus my half level, so 6 plus 16 is 22.
Okay. What was your result, Cassis?
19.
Okay. Okay. Phagris, as the ship shudders as it lurches back into real space, you kind of feel the deck and the whole of the ship just sort of buckle and shriek in protest. However, you just sort of knock your head lightly against the console you're working on. You take 2 points of damage.
Excellent.
Mina, as you're running after Zaylon, as the lights go out, you immediately lose your bearings in the hallway where you're running, and just sort of are flung forward and just sort of smash your head, just crack into the bulkhead. You take 11 points of damage.
How many points of damage do I do?
You guys managed to brace yourselves and not be thrown away and, knocked about the ship. But yeah, you guys are all assessing that, yeah, the ship is in a bad way as this point. Well, that means, yeah. Zaylon, at this point, you're hearing frantically through your comlink, "They're not droids, boss."
You know what sucks? We gotta pay these guys at the end.
I have a plan for that. As long as we all live and we get, I have a plan.
Are we going to jet in space now?
No.
We are back to you, 000.
I go on the comm. Oh wait, did I hear that as well or no?
No, that would have just been across the
on the open frequency we have between all the crew members.
I get on my comm link and I'm like, I figured that out already.
Well, I was trying to shut them down like droids, and it didn't work, so...
As far as I knew at the time, they were
Good
droids.
information. Good information.
All right.
Yeah.
If you can get out of the cockpit while you still can.
That's where it is.
That's where it is?
She is going to wait to hear from the captain.
Well, so...
You've been locked out of my system, so you cannot open up anything. I took care of that long ago.
All right. 000, where are you headed?
I'm heading to the cockpit.
Okay, so you are also moving in that direction as the emergency lights kind of come on, this low, kind of eerie green glow through the ship.
As I do, I have another stun grenade in my hand.
Okay. As we get to Zaylon. If you keep running for the cockpit at this round, Zaylon, at the end of your turn, you'll be reaching the cockpit.
All right. After hearing what my droid tech told me, I'll still run firmly, and instead of wasting time putting my diagnostic kit back into my utility belt, I just drop it.
Okay. At the end of your turn, you are able to sort of burst through the open door of the cockpit and see it's rather unsettling, as it looks as though each of these little orbs that were remaining in that swarm have sort of nestled onto the control panel of the pilot and co-pilot's dashboard, and are just seemingly like, it almost looks as though they're melting into the surface.
And you said when it went into the vent, it was already had wires leaking out of it, correct? Before it left the room?
The swarm that went into the vent had already been damaged, yeah.
Yeah, so okay. And am I able to do anything else, or am I done?
It took your move and your action to run into the cockpit, so it's at the end of your turn that you're getting there. But you can speak if you want to.
No, I'm too furious.
All right. Mina, are you still conscious? Whew. You're muted, by by the way, but
I'm sorry. I've got 7 hit points, so okay. I'm in single digits. So I'm pulling out a med pack and healing myself.
Okay. You just sort of dropped a seat against the wall where you conked your head and just, okay, I'm gonna take a minute here and
let's see.
Yeah, taking a moment for some self-care. It's important.
So 19 total. Oh, of course, I take a -5 penalty on that. So still 14, which now does not work. DC 15.
Well, yeah.
It was a try.
You kind of raise some gauze up to your bruised forehead and just hold it there for a second, and then let go, and it just drops. And yeah, you're a little dazed right now.
Just a tad.
Yeah. All right. Then we are on to Cassis.
Am I assuming that I have a comm link?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to use it. I'll say, where am I needed? And then would you allow me to like spend a swift action to wait for a response?
Yeah, if you ask something quickly, there can be a call and response.
Okay. So if anybody wants
Does anyone respond?
Or maybe even one of the crew members, it doesn't matter. Wherever I'm needed.
I think they'll need you in the cockpit. I'm right next to you, so I'm in the same room still. I think they're going to need you in the cockpit.
Okay, so I am going to then use my move action and my standard action as a move action and try to get there as fast as I can.
Okay. Yeah, with the full round running this round, and then the next round you'd get there at the end of your next turn.
About 60 feet.
Yeah, for spending your move and actions, it's about 60 feet. So I was basically treating running towards the cockpit as spending your whole turn running.
Okay.
So then we are back to Phagris.
I am once again going to attempt to stop these things from doing any more damage to the ship.
Yeah.
To the ship, and this time I'm going to spend a force point to help me do so.
Yeah.
So that's with the force points. So that's modified 20 with the force points. So that ends up being a 31.
Okay. You beat their opposing roll this time. What are you attempting to do?
I'm attempting to essentially stop them from doing any further damage to the ship.
Okay. As you're using the computer systems to assess what's going on, even from a different chamber, you're able to assess. It seems as though they are burrowing and trying to integrate themselves into the ship systems. This seems to be a sort of fail-safe where they feel as if they're about to be destroyed. They just sort of, Borg themselves into another machine and try to carry on their existence that way. At this point, they have not fully integrated. So if you want to try to cause some sort of feedback that would hopefully eject them from the computer systems, it could potentially work. It could also damage the ship.
It could severely damage the ship.
Well, swift action then. I'm going to go over the comms and say they're trying to integrate into the ship. Get them out.
Can I go over the comms really fast?
Go for it.
I think it'd be a wiser decision for me to at least use a stun grenade on the console. It should not damage it. It should more than likely damage them since they are not technically droids or technological components.
Well, either way, you're 2 turns out, so it's going to be up. Zaylon's going to have the first hit at what happens with them. But I'm telling everyone that they're trying to integrate into the ship. Get them out.
Yeah.
Wait,
but with your check, Phagris, you are at least able to momentarily stall their progress.
Okay.
How is Zaylon ahead of me? I thought he was in the same room as me.
No, he left like a turn.
He had basically
Okay.
the second the droids were
Okay.
the orbs were done. He just ran for the cockpit.
Okay.
So that being Phagris, we are at top of the next round. At this point, they're going to try to overrule your opposition, Phagris. And I rolled a 3. So you're able to continue doing the dramatic key clacking, and you say something cool that hackers say in movies, and it's real cool.
Got like the power glove on as he does it.
Yeah.
All right.
Power glove. Okay. then we are actually back to you, 000. So you're running after Zaylon?
Yes.
Right.
How far down the hall is he from me?
He has actually reached the cockpit at this point. You are coming up behind, and you
Okay.
would just be able to reach
All
it
right.
behind him, but it'd be at the end of your turn.
Has he gone in the cockpit yet, though?
No, he has just reached the door.
Yeah.
Okay. As I'm running, I want to contact Zaylon.
Go for it.
Zaylon, hold your position. I have an idea which would probably work.
Oh my
I do
goodness.
not answer.
What you don't have, unfortunately, is trust. Apparently, as you're running 000, you do actually nearly trip over Mina as she's sort of slumped against the wall, trying to patch herself up, and you're just like, oh, and just kind of sort of hop over her as you continue running.
Get out of the hall, I say, as I keep moving.
My leg.
Gee, I wonder why we have trust issues with the droid.
You're a fire hazard.
More!
Cassius, over to you.
Please put up a sign next time.
How close am I to the
Isn't it
cockpit?
my turn?
If you had gone at the same time as 000, so yeah, at the end of this round, you would be reaching the cockpit.
At the end of this round?
At the end of your turn, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so then I'll spend the rest of my turn reaching the door.
Okay.
Zaylon's gonna might screw the ship
And
up.
then back to wait, did I skip Zaylon?
Yeah, you did.
My bad. Okay. Zaylon, what are you doing?
All right. So I know from in-universe laws, in-universe laws, that a machine that size could not create the lasers they did, but so I'm going to ignore that. And given the size they are and my size, I'm going to grapple them and pull them off the consoles. They're 2 meters. No matter how much energy they have, I'm much bigger, and I should dominate them
But
completely.
wouldn't that take more time to try to like pick them out of something?
They're still separated into their separate forms. While they were firing, actually, they sort of Voltroned up to try to shoot out more powerful blasts. Currently, they're split apart once again, and so trying to like grab each one and pry them off of the console, it's doable, but I would probably rule it. It would be the opposed grapple, and for every 5 possibly you exceed their roll, you would be able to pry one more off. At this point, there would be 3, I believe, remaining in this swarm.
Okay. Well, I have a dex of 20, so let's go.
All right.
$17. I wanted better.
Yeah, you unfortunately needed better. I rolled a 19.
Ooh. Yes, I'm coming in with a grenade.
So yeah, as you lunge towards the console and start frantically, there's kind of the fire retardant foam that Takira tried to douse them with because she couldn't try to figure out how to deactivate them as droids. So she was just trying to smother them, maybe suffocate them, and yeah, it didn't
Where
work.
is she in all this?
The gunk is she's in the cockpit still with her data pad in the fire suppression unit, and is seemingly lost it for what to do. But yeah, you're not able to find any purchase on them, Zaylon. The ones you sort of are scrambling at appear to be already sort of half embedded in the control panel.
So she would have heard when I said over the comms, they're trying to integrate themselves in the computer, get them out. Would she do anything with that information?
That would have been the round before. So yes, she can actually attempt something. She's going to look over to you, Zaylon, since you're not happy with what she's been doing. What do you want me to do, Captain?
The droids are in the room, right? Because since she's the droid tech, we already established they were with her.
Not counting fusion cutter. So what are the other ones? Let's see. It would be Rust Bucket and Scrap Heap, correct?
I thought Rust Bucket wasn't on the ship anymore. It should have been.
So denied and scrappy.
denied.
Okay.
I'm gonna have the droid shock the systems.
Okay, boss. And the droids then are going to. Okay. Okay. That actually seems to have moderate effect as both of the astromechs wheel forward and just try to send power jolts through the system. It appears to hamper, at least, the efforts of the invading orbs that are trying to burrow into the console.
They should have fried the circuits and made them inoperable.
The circuits of what?
Of the board they were hacked into.
Oh,
No, they're trying to like.
You're trying to fry the board, like the entire control panel?
Why are you doing that?
Okay. That changes the parameters.
Oh my god. I'll be stranded in space.
Interesting.
We are stranded in space already.
Yeah, we're all ready. I have a plan.
Okay. From where you are, you actually get an abrupt alternate feedback through the system that seems to indicate that helm control is gone. And as this happens, there's also some sort of weird, probably unintentional, but dice, firing of the maneuvering thrusters that sort of leaves you just kind of toppling end over end. And as this is happening, the artificial gravity begins to fluctuate.
Sith's fit. I failed.
That was the droids actually doing their thing. That it caused, with bad, like when you get a natural one, there's a negative side effect.
Oh no! From my character's point of view, I failed at keeping them out.
Yeah.
So at this point, I need everybody to make another acrobatics check.
Oh.
Hey, I made that one.
18.
22.
22 again.
Okay.
6.
Oh my god, Mina.
But I failed.
Good God.
Actually, for Mina, since you were stationary and just sort of pressed up against the wall, I'll say it could be a climb check instead, if that's any better. This is
Hold on.
Because this is kind of the moment in Revenge of the Sith when the ship just starts going.
Yeah.
R2 is just like screaming across the deck. So that's Mina at this point, I guess. Since you're just sort of sliding across the slick metal of the deck and sort of smash into a nearby wall. It's going to be 6 points of damage. I believe you have 1 hit point left.
1 hit point.
Okay. Yeah, you're not having a good day, unfortunately.
I have to say, if anyone else has a med pack who wouldn't have a -5 to...
The Padawans not having a good time.
That's what you get for spending so much time in the archives instead of doing field work.
I believe everyone else got over a 15, yes? Or, sorry, 13?
Oh, I failed. It was not a nat 1, but I'm not going to tell you. But I failed.
Okay.
No, tell us, because we
Yeah.
have to calculate the damage.
So the Jedi then, I guess. The Jedi then, I guess, Cassius, as you reach the cockpit and see what's happening, you just kind of flop over off of your feet and sort of smash your face into the back of one of the like you kind of slam into the back of like the pilot's chair. You also take 6 points of damage.
This is fine. This is fine.
But everyone else got over 13, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. But the good news is, Zaylon, that the droid's efforts seem to have been effective in that the entire main console of the cockpit is shorted out, powered down.
All right. I'm going to grab some words once it's my turn.
I believe we are actually back to Mina's turn.
I'm going to use the last med pack I have to try right, so it's 9.
Doesn't each med pack have like a certain number of uses before it's
They
gone?
should.
Or am I misremembering it?
Maybe I'm.
I think stim packs are single use, and then med packs have
Yeah.
number of uses.
Let me check. I could be wrong though.
Well, let's see. Yeah, it fails. It's that -5 that gets me.
Yeah. It's a bad day for the Padawan. You're kind of crumpled up on the floor at this point, just kind of fiddling in the med pack and not able to find everything that you need with your mental state being what it is. Do you want to use your move for anything?
No, Venus just want to kind of sit there and just kind of be like, crud.
Do you want to maybe find somewhere to strap in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Yeah. I'm going to find somewhere to strap in so I'm not going to take more damage.
Unfortunately, with having used your action, you're just able to sort of heave yourself back onto your feet. Your vision is swimming, but next turn you could be able to move to a seat and just kind of strap yourself in. And then we are over to Cassis.
Am I prone?
What was your result? It was
you said I tumbled and hit the
right.
back.
What was your numerical result though? Like kind of
5.
Okay, yeah. You were knocked prone.
Okay. So let's see. So gravity is fluctuating, but can I stand?
You are able to stand. It's not as though there is no gravity, but it's the artificial gravity is starting to phase in and out.
Am I able to see where this non-droid thing has burrowed itself into the computer console?
Yes, you would be. There's still enough lighting with the emergency lighting on.
Okay, I'd like to make my way over there and use move light object to try to like surgically rip it out. If that's possible.
You can certainly attempt it. As at this point, the impression you're kind of getting, Cassis, is this is I don't know if any of you have ever had like a parasite kind of latched onto you, but like when you start to try to use chemicals or flame or whatever to burn it off, it just starts kind of wriggling and writhing and trying to extricate itself. That's kind of the impression you're getting from these things at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yep.
Okay, that's a nat 20, but if you want the number, it's 35.
Well, I guess if we're going by the grapple check to try to exceed, my total would be a 16 to try to oppose, and you got a 25?
35.
35. Oh yeah, you're able to wrench the 3 remaining ones, just rip them out of the console. There's like tendrils of something fleshy and all kind of wiry being snaked out from the console.
I'm not trying to deal damage to them. I want to like retrieve them in my hand and see if I can hold on, if that's at all possible.
Can I say something at this time, or since I saw that?
Sure. Sure. Go for it.
Hold them steady, and if you can, break off the mechanical components and leave it just the organics.
Would I be able to use my swift action to like snip it? I don't know.
You want to cut the umbilical cord? I'd say that would be a full action to try to execute what Zalon is saying.
Yeah, I don't know what to do at this point other than just try to hold them in my hand and prevent them from moving.
That's fine. It's better than
what I'm coming in with my grenade hot in my hand, so.
All right. Then we are back to Phagris. Whatever minor computer systems, whatever juice is left in the computer that you're at, the console appears to be registering as the attack appears to have stopped.
Okay. I'm going to assume that either A, whoever's in the cockpit has dealt with the situation, or B, they're currently dealing with the situation. I'm not going to be able to get there in time to do anything either way. but I will get started on the next bit that we need to do, and I'm going to make a knowledge physical science in order to astrogate through essentially in naval terms it's called like dead reckoning, where if you know your starting points and you know roughly how fast you're going and the vector you're going in, then you are able to determine where you are based on how much time has passed. I'm going to do that since I helped calculate our initial hyperspace vector or chart, so I know the vector we went in and where we started and roughly how long. So, and if I need since I don't trust this computer, I'm going to use my own data pad for that, to trying to figure out where we are and where we would, where's the closest place to help.
Okay.
That's a 20 modified.
All right. Yeah, you were only a couple of hours out from Tapasi, right?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, you would still, yeah. There's probably another 7 hours before you reach Brental, and you're not in actual system of any charted system, which this is the core. It's very well charted. Well, outer core, inner core, yeah, inner core. So you could try to send out a distress signal, and it would probably reach somebody because you're not too incredibly far from any sort of civilization.
Yeah, we're within my long range comm has a range of 200 kilometers.
I mean, 200 kilometers when you're out in space is not a whole
I know.
lot.
With the ship's comms, are the ship's comms and still have enough of a state of repair that we could put out an SOS distress?
The communication array would require the main systems, I believe, to be brought back online.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least we know where we are.
You haven't drastically, altered course or anything. You haven't pulled a cross current.
If you know where we are, I can get everything else fixed.
Yeah.
How far
I'm
away?
going to set my comm link to like a passive SOS just in case anyone in a 200-kilometer radius comes out of hyperspace.
In the middle of the void, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If they do, they're probably pirates, so there's that.
Not in the core.
In this time period?
The Sith Wars have been over for several hundred years, so...
all the way up to the...
It depends on who's brave enough to take whatever chances they see. But at this point, I'm going to say we're out of initiative as the conflict appears to have passed.
Okay, if we're out of initiative, the first thing I do is get on the comms and tell him to get down to the engine room and disable all engines.
They're trying to get out of my hand. You got to take care of them.
Wait. When's it my turn?
Well, we're out of combat.
We're out of combat.
Zaylon, you said you'd help.
Well,
Okay.
wait,
Okay.
hold on. We're out of combat, but wait, hold on. But those things are still active. If they're wiggling around the
Yeah,
sand,
but
right?
they're still active. They're still active, but they're subdued. So unless they become unsubdued, we're out of combat.
All right, so
I
okay,
looked
so
at Cassius and said, let's go back down to
All
the workshop and put them in a containment unit.
well, hold on. Well, I haven't gotten a turn to speak in for however long.
Well,
Okay.
we're technically out of initiative, so just what are you wanting to do, 000? No? Okay.
Hey, I'm sorry. Somebody barged in my room.
Okay.
I burst through the door, and first thing I do is I look at the damaged computer and Cassius having his hand on these wires. I'm like, I look over at Sam. I'm like, what did you Criffin do?
Get out of my cockpit.
I'm about to relieve you of command, sir. You damaged our ship.
We did not damage it. I have subdued these little orb droid things, and we can all calm down. How's that?
I unpinned the grenade. Gosh darn it.
Let's get them into a containment unit.
Free your hand. I pull the pin out and then essentially just drop it.
No.
You're gonna drop a stun grenade right now?
Yeah, I have it on a timer. You guys can leave the cockpit while I disintegrate this thing.
Okay, let's go down and get these in a containment unit. I'm going to help take off the mechanical aspects and get the biologics into the containment unit so we can look at later.
Yeah,
Right
so
now,
you are all now. You are both then at this point running out of the cockpit.
I'm getting away from that rogue droid now.
Zaylon Takura calls after you. I'll start working on the cockpit console.
No, dismantle it. We need to get rid of that completely.
Captain, we do still need to travel through space, yes?
Yes, I have it covered. Let me take care of this, and I'll be back up here for that.
Yes, sir. Okay, as you guys leave the cockpit, you pass Mina, who is stumbling over to a chair to try to strap herself in.
I would help, but I have these little buggers.
Things to take care of.
I'm about to say, does anyone really need me? I think I need to do some meditation.
You can go and go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I need to do anything to get these into a containment unit? Or
you have a glass jar.
I would say
that's the only thing you can use to contain them is something in transparent steel or a glass jar. Yeah, that's about it. We can't put in a metal canister, or else it might break free.
So with Cassis basically holding them and able to focus and basically try to use the force to hold on to them, I would say it shouldn't be too much of an issue, you think, to do the like you caught a firefly or something quick, just kind of shove it in the jar, put the lid on.
Right.
Okay. So we take care of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on them, I guess. I write on a sheet of flimsy our approximate location and hand them to Zaylon.
Okay, thank you. I need to do some work for this first, but okay, I'm assuming at this point, Fusion Cutter has already disabled the engines?
Yes.
All right. So I'm
actually also trying to just kind of mildly correct this ship so that it's not careening with the maneuvering thrusters.
I'm going to go collect my diagnostics tool that I dropped on my way to the pilot to the cockpit. And after collecting that, I'll go to an auxiliary control computer.
Okay.
I will entirely wipe everything on the computer again, like I did before the whole before we created this group. Yep. Wipe it off and reinstall the computer again for my diagnostic kit, like I did before we took off Valdron.
I'm writing down that I have a jar of orb specimens.
While you're doing that, Zaylon, the Milds actually do finally show up, the deckhands that you brought back on, and just sort of approach you and say, "So, Captain, this has been an unpleasant voyage. We're probably going to get off at the next stop."
Well,
I did increase my charisma this time. Friends, understand it has been a different voyage, and before what happened in the last few minutes, I had a plan to correct that, and if you stick with me within the next few days, it should turn around.
I mean, we don't really have anywhere else to go at the moment, so until we hit a port.
Am I rolling for persuasion or?
You're trying to get them to hear you out, basically. So yeah, go roll a persuasion.
21.
All right, Captain. We'll at least hear out your plan for what happens next.
All right. Let us get us back on course, and then I'm gonna meet with everybody on the team and the crew and let them know what my plans are for the Vasari. All right. So I've uploaded the auxiliary, the uploaded the computer back onto the auxiliary system, and though it's not, I'm guessing it's not specialized for the cockpit, I could probably still make it work. I do have. Oh, wait, I do have the quick fix talent.
I believe technically, in order to transfer helm control to a different station, you would have to do that from the helm.
We might be stranded.
Well, there is no helm, and I reinstalled helm control. Couldn't that go into whichever computer I installed it on?
Does it?
So it's not that you couldn't control the helm from here. It's that as you would basically have to convince the ship, because like that would also be a security measure, because if somebody just kind of boards the ship and then just decides to use whatever console to use the helm.
All right, I was going to do this afterwards, but I guess I got to do it first. I'm going to transfer the auxiliary console up to the cockpit. I'm assuming that's going to take a few hours.
Yeah, you'd also probably want to belay your order to Krira to be dismantling the helm console, so that you could actually send over the helm control to a different console.
Okay, so that's what we'll do.
But it shouldn't be too hard to bring in enough power to the actual helm console. Like get briefly like even an isolated small power generator up there, and just kind of get it active long enough to transfer helm control to a different station.
All right. So we do what needs to be done. We take Vegas's computations, and we get back on our way.
All right.
Before that, like while all of the repairs are being done and whatnot, I'd like to go in and check on Mina.
Okay.
Are you doing all right?
Did not go as well as I had hoped.
Yeah, I think we all got kind of beat up there. Have you tried putting yourself into a forced trance?
I'm about to.
Okay. I think she needs to roll for that.
It's a use the force, yeah?
Yeah, it's a DC 10 use the force check.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Plus a 10, so 30.
All right.
Finally.
Yeah. You meditate so good. It's great.
It's like the one thing you're good at.
The best healing trance of all time.
So you can remain in that forced trance for 4 consecutive hours. And if you do that, then you emerge from the trance as if you were fully rested with 8 hours of sleep. You can only do that once every 24 hours, I think.
Well, guess what I'm doing for 4 hours then?
Yeah. Yep. Just turn off your comm link and be like, nope, I'm out.
We are eventually going to need your rest.
You can go 10 times as long as normal without food or water. Or air, I think. One of the other ones says. And then, let's see, each hour you remain in the trance, you regain a number of hit points equal to your character level. So...
Oh, I'm staying in there for 4 hours. I was down to 1 HP. I'm staying a full 4 hours.
Actually, the core rulebook doesn't give a time limit on how many times you can do that a day. In one of the other books, I can place another person into a forced trance. And...
For the sake of healing or something else?
Yeah.
It's either for healing or to get them to be able to sleep or whatever.
I'm going to assume that's a once a day thing because I have a very similar thing, or not a similar thing, but pretty much a similar thing, being a Biff, but I can only do that once per 24-hour period. But that's basically how I do my long rests.
Yeah, and until I'm proven otherwise, we'll go ahead and say that it's a 24-hour thing.
Yeah, it doesn't say on either of them actually.
But yeah, Mina sinks into her trance and starts to meditate and recover. Zaylon, your droid tech is going to be helping you with your mechanics check to be establishing helm control.
I'm
and roll mechanics, she's going to be
force trance as well.
Okay.
So what do I do with the help? I forget. Is that a +2?
You're getting a +2 from her because she rolled above a 10.
Okay. Hold on.
Dice on the floor. Classic.
It's a real mechanics check. You're losing the tools.
All right, that's a 17 plus, 17 because I have a +2 help from her, so 34.
All right. In which case, okay. It takes about 3 hours to get all the power systems squared away, back online enough to get the controls over to non-damaged consoles, and you are ultimately able to achieve it and restore the basic ship functionality, the gravity, the lights, everything is brought back online and seems to be operational, if a bit finicky, but everything appears to be working.
All right. The be on our way again. Do I have to make another pilot's check?
Yep, and astrogation, I believe, which is in this one. It's a knowledge check, yes? I forget the...
Well, so astrogation is either a... in the core rulebook, it says it's a physical science check, but in the ship's... in the ship book, it's a computer's check.
Okay, and I think I've just been allowing either.
And one of the droids will assist him.
Okay. Yep. So you get a +2 on that. Whoever's rolling that. Fagers, if you're wanting to.
I guess, am I?
You have been, but you don't have to continue if you don't want to.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess am I appraised of the fact that we're jumping back into hyperspace?
I mean, Zaylon's had 3 hours to bring everyone up to speed on what he's doing, so.
Okay. I mean, if the ship's repaired, then sure. We're gonna have to sleep sometime, by the way. Ooh, well, that's only a 19.
Okay.
Was that the droid helping?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was with the droid helping.
I mean, you are still on a reasonably well charted hyperlane, so it's not too incredibly difficult to, make the jump, reassess, reorient where you were headed, and make the leap back into hyperspace. As
assisting with the pilot check.
I mean, you have a few different astromechs, so one of them could.
I'll get one of them to assist me.
Okay. Yep. You get a +2.
Good, because I rolled terribly. But I still have an 11 for pilot, so 18.
All right. That is well enough to, even with the ship being battered and compromised and damaged, manage to leap back. Still on your heading toward Brental, the Brental system.
Okay, and I'm gonna leave Rust Bucket, I'm gonna leave Denied at the helm, and I'm gonna work my way to the infirmary. How does treat injury work?
Treat injury. Let's see.
Well, before we do that, we've been traveling for 3 hours. We spent all day, all the previous day, pretty much dealing with the stuff at Tapasi. We're gonna need to we're gonna need to sleep soon.
Well, I kind of, after my talk with the crew, I kind of need to go over some things with everyone. But I'd like to at least, depending on how treat injury works, because I don't know how that works, maybe try to.
Treat injury uses a med pack, and you have to have a DC of 15. However, if you're using it on yourself, you get a -5 penalty.
All right. Well, I do not have a med pack. All right. I have
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just try to convene everybody in a conference room.
Okay. Cassis and Mina, your Jedi, are in respective force trances, so you can try to rally everyone else if you wish.
Okay. Well, I kind of came to this conclusion before we had this recent debacle, but it's clear. Two things are very clear given how the last couple of days have went. The Visaris is not an adequate ship for this mission. It's much too large for our needs, and it's much too large for a novice captain. There were several things that should have happened before we left Alderaan that I did not do. And this is not, a ship this size is not something that I should be practicing on. It's going to be harder now that we took some severe damages, but I was planning on, after we reach Brental, see if there was a possibility of selling the Visaris and getting something closer to our size, and maybe paying the crew with whatever money that was left over from trading in the Visaris.
That can be arranged. After my retirement, I worked as a consultant, mainly in consulting people in purchasing other ships, so they didn't get swindled. In this capacity, I do have several companies that were more than thrilled that I kept sending people to them for business. So if it comes to selling the ship, I know a lot of the tricks of the trade, as well as purchasing a new ship. I could facilitate some of that. I know some people that I can call. I don't know if they'd be on Brental. We may have to go to them.
Yeah, I was assuming we'd go on Brental. We just make the communications and then go where we needed to go to accomplish that. But when the time comes, I'll be transferring all the licenses from the Visaris to the new vessel, including the droids. So we don't have to worry about losing the droids with the ship, because currently they're properties of the Visari, not anyone specifically.
Right.
But that's my overall plan right now for dealing with moving forward as a group. I do want to give some time. I don't think we're going to hear any more from the former crew, but I want to give them some time to respond if they do respond. When we get to Brental, of course, we got to get rid of the droids that Alderaan left us. We put on a return vessel and unload that cargo.
We got to follow our leads as well to make it look like we're look like we're still keeping up with the investigation. Because even with all that we know and how, quite frankly, we can't trust the Alderaanians at this point, and we still need to make it. We still need to make it A, look like we don't intentionally distrust them or any of the others, and B, that we are still on course with our mission.
Well, given what just happened, I'm leaning towards the Mon Calamari. I'll tell one, they're claiming they have a hyperspace route that doesn't exist, and they're doing it with the authority of the Jedi. And now we're seeing some biotech, and there's a few species that do biotech, but probably the most noteworthy of which are the Mon Calamari, and that's two flags right there for them.
In fact, the Mon Calamari are the people that are trying to use their ships to ferry colonists through the Perlimian. Yeah. The Giju Passage is actually on west of the core from Etresia to Doran.
But it's the Mon Calamari that are running that, right?
No, that's kind of been a thing that's kind of become a smuggler's tale, and that's kind of being used to entice colonists over in that direction. The Mon Calamari, as far as your dealings with them, Zaylon, you know that they're probably a bit more cautious than that, because this is an untested route over to the west.
Oh, I had in my note that the Mon Calamari said that they had the authority to Jedi and were ferrying refugees along that route.
They are not using the so-called Giju passage to the west. They are trying to go through or around the Perlimian the other direction.
Okay, but they were involved with ferrying refugees.
Where'd you say to Doran?
Sorry, what?
Where'd you say to Doran? The first planet?
Atresia to Doran. So it's basically a hypothetical route. Let's see if I can bring up the map here.
I see Doran. I can't see Atresia.
Atresia is southwest of the deep core. Let's see if I can find it. Should have had it up. My apologies.
Well, the Mon Cal are saying they're working with the authority of a Jedi, and now we're running into some biotech, and that seems to be their specialty. Those are two flags to me to say we have to investigate the Mon Calamari sometime soon.
Now, are we just making the assumption that it's the Mon Calamari, or was there something to actually go off of?
Oh, there's what I just said. We have to investigate it, but I don't know if there's any direct ties. One is that we're dealing with biotech, and Mon Calamari are some of the best biotech. They build entire ships biologically, and they're also claiming that they have the authority of the Jedi to transfer refugees.
It could very easily just be somebody that's using biotech, not necessarily the entirety of the Mon Calamari. That's
given what we just saw, it's someone who is very well knows how to adapt biotech to the needs.
Etresian isn't in my galactic map, yeah.
So
doesn't necessarily mean Mon Cal, but I think they have to be investigated.
So the so-called Giju passage, which has kind of been a thing that has been enticing colonists from the Slice to kind of come over towards the Etresian Commonwealth in Catel Fard. And the people are basically saying, you know, for a price, we'll show you the passage from Catel Fard, the Etresian Commonwealth, over to Doran.
Are you able to expand that map to your whole screen?
That is unfortunately as big as I am able to make it.
Okay, no problem then. Don't worry.
That actually works well because Doran's a show jump away from Bilbergi, who are known for their shipbuilding and shipyards. Probably going to have a lot better time trading a ship at Bilbergi than we would at Brental, and it's along the way.
Yeah, you guys are right close to Brental. You just have a few hours to go.
Yeah. Well, we need to drop off the stuff at Brental anyway. Make good on that promise at least. I'm even wondering if we don't, if it's too early to start deceiving our handlers in the fact that we maybe let them know that our next stop is Coruscant, but instead go to Bilbergi and then Doran. Following up on that, I don't.
That's another reason I want to get rid of the ship, because we showed up and everyone knew exactly who we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ship is pretty much junk at this point anyway.
I'll be able to work something out.
Great, but the plan is still to head on towards Brental for the moment?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the closest port that I think we have, right?
Yeah, and again, we still have our cargo bay still full of supplies that's supposed to go to Brental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say full.
But basically, so my understanding is we tell certain because again we have to report to the various factions. Do we tell them that we're following up and go to Coruscant, essentially lying to them to see if from where we are at Doran, if we see anything suspicious happening around Coruscant, or do we tell them that we're instead following the trail to Doran?
Let's tell them we have a list of targets we want to seek out, including Coruscant, but we also had difficulties with our ship and we need to find somewhere to repair it better. And then after we trade in the ship, we just drop contact with them for a while.
All right, we're trading in the ship now, huh?
We're going to attempt to.
15 minutes.
Is it not salvageable?
It is salvageable, but it's not fit for what we need. And it's too large of a ship for a novice captain.
And it's probably tractor bugged in some way. And even if it isn't, we're not going to be able to discreetly do our job in the ship.
Who gave us the ship again?
It's my ship.
It's Zaylon's ship, yeah.
Mhm.
That was technically,
that's not the.
it
did
was
it
technically
originate
scrapped
from him?
already and totaled by the corporation that was using it.
Well,
But,
who gave it to us? That's what
The
I'm asking.
committee.
The committee.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
company,
then why is it your ship? That's not what I asked, Zaylon. I asked who gave us the ship, not whose ship was it.
technically it was patched up in the Alderaan spaceport. So
All right. Wow.
I mean, it is Zaylon.
It's very big. It's a
Very
very big ship. Wait, are we after the Old Republic video game?
yes.
Yes, we're like 1,000 years at least
1,000
after.
Let's get us a defender class for gosh sakes.
We're about actually 600 odd years after the Old Republic MMO.
Still, they'd probably be available.
Well, I don't think we can pick. We're in a position to pick what ship we get. I think it's going to come down to my contacts and whatever ship they're able to trade us in for.
Cassis is using subliminal messaging.
Very subtle.
Honestly, it doesn't matter what shape it is. I mean, seriously.
Shape matters not. But everyone is.
Are we ending this question? Are we ending this in like 20 minutes? No offense. Not
In a bit.
All right,
Yeah.
because I was asking because my.
Well,
friends wanted-
next thing,
Shortly.
our Jedi friends, I guess, have like an hour of meditation left, and then they're back.
Well,
Yeah, we can fast forward to that if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was assuming that we fast forwarded through that.
Okay. In that case, we have, 6 hours until we get to port?
Yep.
Okay.
And other than the Jedi, none of you have slept since we got to Posse. And spent all day at Posse.
In hyperspace.
What?
Can I even charge? What's the generator like right now?
I imagine there are charging ports you can probably use.
Okay.
You would have been.
Basically, I'm good because I only need 4 hours. But for you, Zaylon, you need to rest.
Yeah.
And you're
leaving-
most likely going to be resting. You're not going to be up unless you take like a shorter rest. But then you'll be
I'm leaving Dre to handle the docking procedures.
Well, I'll be up, and the Jedi will be up.
Zaylon, if you allow it, I am able to put you into a force trance for 4 hours, and you will be considered fully rested at the end of it.
No, I think I'm good.
Fair enough. I'm not going to force you.
Hey. Anyway.
Hey.
Of course.
And the crew is also going to need the rest anyway. So
Yeah.
essentially, we'll be making port with just myself and the Jedi and the droids.
I mean,
I want
slow
one of
your
the crew.
progress if you want.
I want one of the crew in the cockpit during that time.
Well, I'm letting you know they're going to be extremely fatigued, having
Yeah.
been up over 16 hours.
I can do it.
The droids will be up until it's time. The droids will handle the cockpit until it's time for docking, and then they'll wake one of the crew to handle it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, if we're getting rid of the ship anyway, does it matter?
It does if something happens while we're sleeping.
The crew.
I'm up.
Yeah, well, like I said, again, you two are fully rested, so you can take the 4 hours or the shift all the way up until we get there. I will be rested by then as well, as I only need 4 hours. I'm talking about the rest of the organic crew needs the full 8 hours. So
I asked the 3 crew members and asked which one of them would like to get up and handle the docking procedures before going back to bed.
Yeah, Dree Chakira will actually say that she's up for that. She will actually also look to you, Cassis, If the offer of the meditation is still available.
I'll do it.
Okay, good. So we'll have.
Dree is aware of my feelings about that, correct?
Yes.
I'm assuming we would have had a talk about that during the many years together.
Yeah. Keldor, though, they're very open with the Force. They don't care.
Yeah. So we'll have them, myself, and the 2 Jedi and the droids then, offloading the cargo while the rest of the crew rests.
Okay.
You want me to roll now for the Force Trance?
Yeah, go for it. And those of you who are going to your rest, do so, and are able to acquire what rest you might be needing as the passage continues to Brintal. And around the appointed time, the alarms chime that you are emerging back into real space as the planet of Brintal comes up before you, and it is far more chaotic than this image represents, but I didn't really have the wherewithal to be, putting thousands of ships filling the screen. But there are...
Those are some bad memories.
Yeah, the space around Brintal is filled with civilian colonist ships, as well as orbital stations and ships from the Brintal Orbital Control that are trying to maintain some level of order amid all of the chaos here, as all of these colonists are flooding into the system in protest for not being able to pass the Prelimian and into the borderlands. And as you guys are making your approach, you are in short order, as you're preparing to form up into queue and make your approach to be cleared for passage to the planet or even to one of the stations, your ship is actually hailed.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
Well,
This is just like KOTOR 2.
well,
If it helps, that's one of my favorite games, so you know what to expect.
It's mine too, no worries.
so I guess all of those of us who are up and rested are in the cockpit.
Which I'm assuming is Phaedrus, myself, and Mina.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not.
And
'Cause I'm probably in the back.
If you were charging, then yeah, 000.
This is sorry, go ahead.
You're actually informed by a rather chipper voice. Oh, yes, I am very excited to see that your vessel has arrived and is looking not quite as badly as I had feared. I don't suppose you would be willing to do us the honor of making your approach towards the Colmond Trade Hall landing pad.
And
who is that?
yeah, who? Forgive me, but who is this I'm speaking to?
Oh, forgive me. You are addressing Tiaski Kalia.
Tiaski Kalia.
I am, I suppose one might say that I am a rather important individual here on Brintal, and you may have heard of my ancestor, Charter of the Hydean Way, but that's really nothing here nor there. But no, we wish to honor your presence and hope that you will be joining us at the trade hall. We would like to give you an appropriate Brintal welcome.
Well, I look over to Cassis, and I'm like, I mean,
if we deny it and do something else,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I don't know.
This screams trap to me, but I also don't know how else we're gonna get out of it.
Very obviously, but you have 2 Jedi on your side. We can get out of it.
Yeah.
2 Jedi without their lightsabers.
And Mina's still got a huge bruise on her head.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well,
she'll be fine.
we do heal from rest, right? Yeah. Well,
Yes.
you guys are fully healed. Yeah.
Fully healed, so.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't
still
Dre
need
be
to find
advocating
where-
to follow this?
Healing takes place, but yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Zaylon?
Wouldn't Dre be advocating to follow what the Port Authority was recommending?
this was not part of the order parameters, and she's saying you can establish that we have cargo to offload if we wish to buy time.
What kind of cargo do we have?
Relief supplies. There's food,
Packs.
very, very, freeze-dried sort of rations, sort of food, and medical supplies, basic equipment for, senior survival kit, like colonist trowel kind of thing.
Would this be the time period where Kolto is going into decline and Bacta is?
I believe so, yes.
I mean, this is neither here nor there, but I'm just wondering.
But we don't have Kolto on board?
You would, actually, because that would still be probably a reasonably affordable alternative.
I'm trying to think of something that we don't have on board that would be basically I want to say like we are of course fully loaded with, and I want to say something that we're not actually carrying, but someone who would know what to expect would know we're not carrying.
Gigantic weapons grade missiles.
I guess since the ship, the spaceports were attacked.
First, before we think about that, should we just tell her that we're on approach?
Yeah, well, that we're on approach, but you do realize that we are carrying some cargo and then I guess whatever would be used to repair starports, because I don't think we have any of that on board.
No, that wasn't the. Like you were more about relief supplies, so.
Right, but I want to say that instead, and I want to say that instead, and because this is a test to see if they know we're coming and what this is someone who knows we're coming and what we have, or if we're not dealing with someone who.
Okay, so you're trying to push the line. It's like, oh, and we're carrying, repair supplies.
Yeah, basically, I want to get called out that we're not actually, just to see if they know what we're supposed to have.
All right.
Or if they don't.
Deception check.
25.
Okay. Oh, well, I wasn't aware of that, but of course, we are happy to accommodate whatever your mission parameters are. We simply wish to welcome you when you are available.
Curious, didn't the delegation at Alderaan inform you that we were bringing supplies?
No, they told us very little, actually.
Interesting.
I really don't like this. Yeah, I'm gonna do a use the force. Search my feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC 15. I'll pretty much auto succeed. Yeah, roll the 15.
You're not getting any immediate sort of threat from the situation?
I think we'll be good to land, and if it is a trap, then we can cover it.
Okay.
The voice on the other end of the comm actually continues. And I was hoping that perhaps I might welcome your illustrious task force to my homestead this evening for supper.
There it is.
Now that's the trap.
There we go.
Okay, let's land this thing and we can get off.
Next move.
I shall inform the crew.
Takrira beside you, Fagris, is shaking her head. The captain will not be pleased.
Hey, I didn't commit to anything. I just told her I will inform the crew that.
Hey, actually, you know what? That's a very diplomatic way of going about it.
Yep.
I'll inform the crew of the invitation. We're not. I'll just say that, but I mean, like, that doesn't mean we're going, but I'll let them know, certainly. I guess, is that another deception?
That's not a deception. You never
No.
lied.
You are technically telling the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you just holding position, or are you moving into land?
We'll make a.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll make a dock.
Okay.
Or we'll make.
As you start moving in towards the planet, a couple of ships actually do come in and move to escort you. They don't have weapons online or anything, but they do comm you and say, "We have been sent to escort you to the planet's surface."
Mm-hmm. Very well.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. You begin making your approach down towards the planet, and you are actually coming into like the broad rocky canyons of the planet's surface. Sort of the reddish hue from the atmosphere, and the Brintal for this particular planet in the system has enormous ice caps, as you saw in the picture. And so there's basically that ring across the midsection where people have bunkered down in the deep canyons of the planet's surface. And as you're making your approach to the Corman Trade Hall, where you have been invited, and where the ships coming in are escorting you, it's a very very well entrenched sort of work of art into the landscape, where it's kind of built into the natural rock formations below. And it is an impressive sight that I can't show you because unfortunately there's no, I don't think, actual art for it. But as you're making your approach, you are directed to the largest landing pad they have here at this private spaceport next to the trade hall, because you're a big ship. And you basically alight overhead, where the huge disc over the rest of the smaller landing platforms kind of extend out like Star Trek chess. And as you make your approach and come in for landing, and the accompanying ships peel off and resume their other duties, you are docked, and the invitation is kind of still hanging there. You have not been hailed again, but
well, they know we have to unload cargo, so.
All right. So you wish to start going about that?
Yeah, figuring out who we need to contact in order to deliver this stuff to, how to go about that, and how to go about getting the droids, the worker droids, back to the Alderaanians. So I guess that's a gather information.
Yeah, go for it. As you start making the appropriate calls to the planetary control and whoever might have the barges
26
to meet out your goods. And yeah, rather in short order, about a half hour, you have barges coming in, then you're offloading the supplies with them, the lifter droids coming in and just heaving all of the crates over. And you are thanked by various personnel. About an hour into all of this would be actually when Zaylon is waking up and finding that there are a bunch of people on his ship.
I go to Green and ask for the report.
Well, we were invited to land here. We did so, and now we are offloading the supplies. Nothing appears to be untoward as of yet, Captain, but the force is strained here.
I'm gonna let him know.
I give Dre a peeved look at the mention of the force.
Keldor are very good at deadpan, so.
He's very much my opinion on that matter. All right, and what are you telling me, Phelan? I'm
going to tell you that we were actually hailed upon coming in. We were in the queue to come in normally, but someone by the name of Tiaski Kalia, Brental, name didn't ring a bell in my mind. Did instructed us to dock here instead. And interestingly enough, when I mentioned that we had cargo to unload, they didn't seem to know, although they claimed to be from Brental, they didn't seem to know what type of cargo we were dropping off, or that we were even to expect us having cargo. And she's also invited us to her palace for dinner later tonight.
Palace? Oh.
You said home, but
home.
I assume I don't recognize the name, but do I?
What do I call that? Knowledge.
I'm just wondering if I would have heard her name last time.
Galactic lore bureaucracy.
Yeah. Just roll a bureaucracy just to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna
if
do
you
that
catch
as well,
anything.
just to see if I know. Well,
Nat 20, 25.
yeah, 29 for me.
Well, I was assuming I didn't know it, but apparently I do.
Yeah. Both of you, it is kind of ringing a bell. And if nothing else, the name Kalia is actually like, oh, okay, that you're piecing that together. Where Freya Kalia was an important figure a few centuries ago, who she was best known being a cartographer of the galaxy, like exploring further regions into the galaxy, and she is actually the principal figure in charting the Hydean Way.
But this person,
That's
they're
convenient.
just related to them. That's about it.
It appears like you're not getting anything specifically tied to this person beyond, oh yeah, they seem to be one of the main houses of Brintal.
So nothing in connection to the last time the Visaris was here.
Right.
Okay.
Not that you're able to piece together, Zaylon. However, go ahead, Cassis.
I am actually intending to use Sense the Force right now.
Okay.
As a full round action, I can use it to detect Force users out to a range of 100 kilometers.
Okay.
And that's in any direction, so that's just the radius. So basically, I'm trying to see if our Jedi Master Bill Murray friend is anywhere close by.
Yeah, Guar Mamori, go ahead.
If he is, make an opposed check.
All right.
Here, use the Force check. My total is 28, and if yours is higher, then I will not be able to sense it.
Okay. You are reaching out?
Yeah. That's any Force user in range,
okay.
And their direction, and whether or not I've met them.
Okay. You are reaching out. You are not getting any sort of strong presence in the Force that would accompany like a Jedi Master. However, you are getting like a faint flicker from the droid tech of the ship, the Keldor, and there's like a faint, like you're familiar with this. If somebody has like a passing ability to touch the Force, that's kind of what you're able to sense from them. All right. And beyond that, you are not able to really sense anything else beyond maybe a couple of other minor Force wielder, maybe not even Force wielders, but people who have a slightly stronger connection to the Force across the planet. Okay. But nothing is really pinging back at you like, whoa, that's a Jedi Master. All right. However, the open loading bay of the Visari kind of gives you all a prime view of where there's a personal and a vehicle lift on the far side of the platform. From the personal lift, there appears to be about 5 figures rising up and coming up to this level, and they're slowly making their approach. The one at the forefront is slowly coming into focus, and you see this woman making her way towards you, and she's kind of got a hand out. She's like, oh yes, hello, and welcome to Brintal, as she's quickly striding forward in her long dress. However, at this point, it would be Cassis and Zaylon Zaylon, it's hitting you a lot more strongly, as this is bringing back the kind of frantic, desperate memory of your last time on Brintal. As flanking her, there appear to be armored, uniformed individuals that are striding forward with purpose, and you recognize both you and Cassis as these are the individuals from the recording of when the Visari was boarded last time it was at Brintal.
Oh, sis spawn.
And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
All right.
This is why I made sure we were all armed at Tipasi.
Yep. And why we were making sure we were all healed up as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. See where this goes. Yeah, you guys are getting sick of the Visari, so yeah, we'll see what comes next.
Hey, oh, never mind. We're still recording.
Okay. Well, we'll call